Why is knowledge always incomplete? When one is observing, is one aware that one is observing, or only aware of the thing being observed? Does awareness lead to analysis? What is psychological knowledge? I'll read it again. Why is knowledge, as you said, always incomplete? When one is observing, is one aware that one is observing, or only aware of the thing that is being observed? Does awareness lead to analysis? What is psychological knowledge? Whom do you expect to answer these questions? The Delphic oracle, the highly elevated priests, the astrologers, the soothsayers, the reading of tea leaves. Whom do you expect to answer this question? But if you're not expecting anyone to answer this question, but since you have put this question, can we talk it over together? You understand? Talk it over together. Not that speaker will answer it and then you accept it or deny it and go home say dissatisfied, say I wasted my morning. But if you could seriously talk over these questions, so that we both penetrate into the problem, then it will be your own answer, not the answer of someone who has answered these questions you have heard, and it's not yours then. It's you're saying, like a man having cancer. You can talk about cancer, who hasn't got it. But if you've got it, you are involved in it. There's pain, there's anxiety, there's fear. So, can we talk over these questions? All of them. Not just this one, but also the previous question. Why is knowledge always incomplete, as you said? What is knowledge? What do you mean, what do we mean when we say, I know? Please go into it with me, together, slowly. When I say I know mathematics, or I know the medicine, surgery, and also I know through experience gathered some facts. So when we say I know or we know, what do we mean by that? You're following me? To know. You may say, I know my wife, or my husband, or my girlfriend or boy. Do you really know them? Can you ever know them? Please follow this step by step. Or you have, as we said the other day, an image about them. Is the image the fact? You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are we meeting each other? So the word know is very, very limited, right? And the knowledge that has been acquired through science, not only the technological side of it, but also scientists are trying to find out through matter what is beyond. What is the origin of all this? And they have accumulated a great deal of knowledge. And what is beyond, they have never been able to find out so far. So knowledge, according to science, is limited, is narrow. Therefore, there is knowledge and ignorance always going together. The ignorance which is not knowing, and the knowing, they both go together always, right? I think that's fairly clear. But to answer a little bit more further, which is, we say through, scientists say through matter they will find that which may be beyond. We human beings are matter. Why don't we go through this rather than through that? You understand what I'm saying? You follow what I'm saying? Are we talking together? Because if the mind can go through itself, the possibility of coming upon that which is the origin of all things is much more likely than the other. I don't know. So, to know oneself is always limited. I don't know if you follow me. If I say I must know myself, I can study psychology, I can discuss with the psychologists, psychoanalysts, psychotherapists, psychobiologists, and so on, so on, so on. But it is always limited. Whereas if I understand myself, penetrate into this entity called myself, there is the possibility of going infinitely beyond, which we are going to discuss, and perhaps we may be able to go beyond during the next talks, because it's a very important thing. Because otherwise, life has very little meaning. Naturally. Our life is pleasure, pain, the whole cycle of it. Reward and punishment, that's the pattern in which we live. And that pattern has created the knowledge which psychologically we have acquired. That knowledge which we have acquired created the pattern in which we are caught. Right? So knowledge, whether it is biological, medicine, science, must always be limited. That's simple, right? When one is observing, is one aware but one is observing, or only aware of the thing being observed, does the awareness lead to analysis? First of all, let us talk over together, what do we mean by observing? There is visual observation, the tree, the hearing, not only with the hearing with the ear, but also hearing inwardly. You know this. So when we observe, do we really observe at all? Or we observe with the world? You understand? Are you following this? That is, I observe that thing and I see tree. So I observe with the world. I don't know if you're following this. Right, sir? There is an observation with the world. So can we find out to observe without the world? You understand what I'm saying? Right? Are we proceeding together? So the world has become all important rather than the sea. Right? If we have a wife or a husband, with all the memory, pictures, sensations, the irritations and so on of each other. So we never observe. So next step is, can we observe a person with whom we have lived intimate and so on, without the image, without the picture, without the idea? Can you do it? You can do, perhaps we're able to perceive that thing which we call the tree without the word. That's very easy. If you have gone into it, that's very easy. But to observe a person with whom you have lived, and observe without the accumulation of the memory about that person. If you have gone into it, if you're interested in it, no, first of all, this observation through the image, through the picture, through the sensation, all the rest of it, through this accumulated memory, is no relationship at all. It's a relationship of one picture with another picture. And that's what we call relationship. But when you examine it closely, it's not relationship. It's my idea and your idea. So, can we observe without can we, in the observation, not make an abstraction of what we observe as an idea? You're following all this? Don't be puzzled, sirs. You're not used to all this, are you? So this is This is what we mean by psychological knowledge. That is, I have built up psychologically a great deal of information about my wife, if I have a wife or a girlfriend. I have built up this knowledge about her, correctly or incorrectly, depending on my sensitivity, depending on my ambition, greed, envy, all that, depending on my self-centered activity. You following all? Does this? So that knowledge is preventing actual observation of the person, which is a living thing, right? So I never want to meet that living thing because I'm afraid. It's much safer to have an image about that person rather than to see the living thing. Right? You're following this? So my psychological knowledge is going to prevent pure observation. So can one be free of that? Can the machinery that builds these images come to an end? You understand my question? Then you would say, how am I to end it? Right? I've got an image about my friend, whatever it is, and it's there like a tremendous fact, like a stone around my neck. How am I to throw it away? Right? Is the stone, the image around one's neck, different from the observer? I'm going slowly into this. Is that image, that weight around your neck, is that different from the observer who says, I have an image? I wonder if you can. You understand my question, sir? Meet me, so let's talk together, move. Is the observer who says, I have the image, and says, how am I to get rid of it? Is that observer different from the thing he has observed? You follow it? Obviously not. Right? Are you? So, the observer is the image maker. I want to see that. Right? Do you meet this? So, what is the observer? Who is this observer that is making the image and then separating himself from the image and then saying, what am I to do about it? You understand? That's the way we live. That's the pattern of our action, and that's our conditioning, to which we are so accustomed, so naturally accept. So we are saying something entirely different, which is the observer is the observed? Which means, let me go into a little more. I observe the tree, but I am not the tree, thank God. It is too stupid to say I'm the tree. Or I have identified myself with the tree. And so on, so on. All this process of identification is still the observer trying to be something or become something. So we have to inquire into what is the observer. Who is the observer? The observer is the result of all the past knowledge, right? His experience, his knowledge, his memories, his fears, his anxieties, the past. So, the observer is always living in the past. If you notice, you can look what he was. And he's modifying himself all the time, meeting the present, but still rooted in the past. Right? So there is this movement of time, which is the past, modifying itself in the present, going on to the future. This is the momentum or the movement of time. I won't go into that now for the moment. So when we observe, we are observing through the image which we have created about that thing or that person. Can we observe that thing without the word, or and can we observe the person without the image? That means, can the observer be absent in observation? Right? You get the point? Are you working with? When you look at a person, of course if you're a stranger you have no picture. Or you say, oh, he's a foreigner, throw him out. But when you look at somebody whom you know very intimately, the more intimately you know them, the more the image. Can you look at that person without the image? Which means, can you look at that person without the observer? You get it? I wonder if you, that is pure observation. So, does this awareness lead to analysis? Obviously not. Do you understand the question? That is, what do we mean analysis? Which is to analyze. Who is analyzing? You understand? I am analyzing myself, right? I'll go into it. I am analyzing myself, or the analyst is analyzing me. When I analyze myself, who is the analyzer? You following this? Is the analyzer different from the thing who is analyzing me? You understand? Is the analyzer different from me? Oh, come on, sir. Obviously not. You see, so we are, as in our talks and in this answering questions, we are eliminating the very structure of conflict, you understand, between human beings. The structure of conflicts exists as long as there is division. The division in myself which creates the division outside. There is a division in myself because I say I'm a Hindu. And the identification with that image of being a Hindu gives me security. So I hold on to that, which is nonsense. There is no security in an image. And the other fellow does the same. He's a Muslim or an Arab or a Jew. He does the same. So we are at each other's throat. So the analyzer is the analyzed. You understand? So what happens then? If, when the observer psychologically is the observed, and therefore no conflict, you understand? Because there is no division. If you see this clearly, that is, our minds have been trained, educated to have this division. I and the thing are different. I, with my anger, with my jealousy, jealousy is different from me. Therefore, I must do something about it. Control it, suppress it, go beyond it. I'm acting upon it. But when jealousy, anxiety is me, what has happened? You understand my question? There is the elimination of conflict. Then what happens? Go on, sir. I don't want to go on. What happens? If you are actually doing this, as we are talking, when you end the division between the two, what happens? When anxiety is me, I am anxiety, obviously. Then what takes place? Don't wait for me to answer it. First of all, may I go on? First of all, I've broken, the pattern has been broken. Right? The pattern, which is the conditioning of my mind, that pattern has been broken. Right? Which means what? The ending of something, right, is the beginning of something else. I wonder if you capture this. If I break the pattern, if the pattern is broken, the ending of the struggle, what then takes place? A new momentum takes place. You follow? A new movement takes place. Right, sir? Don't be skeptical. If you do this, you will find out. If you apply your mind, your energy, go into it. You can observe the tree, and the word tree interferes. The moment you see that, you say the tree, a butterfly, a deer, the mountain, wherever. You follow? Immediate reaction. That reaction can be observed and perhaps put aside and just to observe the tree, the beauty of the line of it. You follow? The grace of it, the quality of it. Now to do the same with the person with whom you have lived, with whom you have been intimate. Not to have a single image about that person. You know what? Then relationship is something extraordinary, isn't it? I wonder, no? If you don't do this, that's why you don't find out. We are so anchored in our own past, in our own condition, in our own pattern. God only knows how you're going to break it. Right? It has to be broken. It's like a man living in an illusion and calling that reality.
How, if the observer is the observed, how can you ever go beyond that? I mean, you can't make yourself step out of that.
Come on.
If the observer is the one observing is also what is observed, how can you ever get out of that? Because you can't, if you say, when you see it, you're still in it.
Sir, just to make sure. Are you actually, not you personally, I'm talking, not being personal, or is one aware of the fact of this? Fact, not the idea of it. The fact that the observer has the image about the person with whom he is observing, his wife and so on. Is he aware of that fact, of this division? And is he aware that in this division is created by the image which he has made about him or her? Right? Are you aware of this fact? Or am I telling you of the fact? And therefore you accept it. Therefore it's not actual, just an idea. But if you say, yes, this fact is so, that is, there is the image about her or him, I am aware of that image, that picture, that idea. Then the next is the picture, the image, the actual person that's living with you? Obviously not. So who is creating this image? If you go sequentially, the answer is very simple, you understand? So, sir, first observe the tree, see whether you can see it without the word. When you see the thing called rose, can you look at that flower without naming it? You understand, sir? Test it out. Then find out if you have an image about a person. Now wait a minute. You have an image about me, haven't you? Because there are papers write about it or some silly book. You follow? You have an image about me. So, are you listening through the image? Through the picture? Through the articles you have read? Or the books you have? Or are you listening directly without the image? You understand? Come on, sir.
What happens when the other person behaves to confirm your image?
I suppose one's wife has no image about the husband. What is the relationship then between the husband and the wife who has no image? You understand the question? That's what you're asking. You understand, sir? You are violent and the other person is not violent. Then what is the relationship? Have you any relationship? Except perhaps sensory, sexual. Have you any relationship? Obviously not. But you are living in the same house. So what will you do? So you're not moving with facts, you see, that's why. You're living with ideas, that's the difficulty in this matter. So, all right, let's go into it. My wife has no relationship, has no image about me. First of all, that's the most extraordinary way of living. You understand? In that perhaps there may be real, profound love. She has no image about me, but I have image, pictures, ideas, all that in me, piling up. And we are living in the same house. What takes place? She is free. I am not. And I create the conflict, not she. Right? I want her to have an image about me. Because that's how I'm used to that. So I begin a most destructive relationship goes on, right? Till she says, enough. Does she divorce me? Go on, sir, this is your job. Face it all. Leave me? Or her having no image of me has brought about totally different atmosphere in the house. You understand, sir? You have never done this. Don't test it out, sir. There's a totally different, I'm beginning to aware, because she's immovable. You understand? And I am moving all around. So I begin to see when I meet something that's immovable, something happens to me. Isn't it happening to you now? Oh, come on, sirs. So a man goes from one religion to another, one guru to another, one philosophy, plays around. And another man says, I've been through all that, out, finished. He's immovable. You understand? So what happens? Test it out.
How to eliminate the image.
Huh?
How to eliminate the image.
How to eliminate? How to eliminate the image. You see, you haven't understood. You can't eliminate the image because you are the image maker. Right? Do you see that? You have to eliminate yourself. Which is your thought that has built up the image about yourself. I won't enter into the whole movement of thought because this that requires a great, there are too many questions. We'll go into it when we talk.